Most travel guides give you the same Utah, same parks, same trails, same crowds. But the version of Utah that actually stays with you is hiding just outside that frame. Here are 10 experiences that will make your trip feel less like a checklist and more like something you'll never forget. Number 10. Bonneville Salt Flats. You've seen the photos. You've probably assumed they were edited. They weren't. The Bonneville Salt Flats stretch across roughly 30,000 acres of blinding white terrain about 100 miles west of Salt Lake City, and the scale of it doesn't register until you're standing there. The horizon disappears in every direction. The flats formed as ancient Lake Bonneville slowly evaporated, leaving behind a dense crust of salt minerals. During certain seasons, a thin layer of rainwater collects on the surface and turns the entire flat into a mirror reflecting the sky. The photos from that window look almost too good to be real. Entry is free, making it one of the easiest stops to add to a road trip. The drive from Salt Lake City runs about 90 minutes. Dry season produces dramatic salt crystal patterns, while late summer through early fall tends to bring that mirror effect. Check conditions before you go, and showing up without knowing exactly what you'll find might be the best way to do it. Number 9. Coral pink sand dunes. Most people don't put dunes on their Utah itinerary. That's exactly why you should. Coral Pink Sand Dunes State Park sits in the southwestern corner of the state near Kanab, delivering one of the most visually unexpected landscapes in a state already full of them. The dunes glow a deep pinkish red, colored by iron oxide and the surrounding Navajo sandstone. Sandboard rentals are available near the park, and the dunes are walkable for anyone who just wants to climb up and take it all in. There's also an accessible viewpoint for visitors who can't manage the sand. Sunset is when the color really comes alive, shifting from pink to deep burnt orange as the light drops. Day use fees run around $10 per vehicle, and the whole stop takes maybe 2 hours. If you're already routing through southern Utah, this one quietly becomes a trip highlight. The sand gets everywhere. Yes, it's absolutely worth it. Number 8. Goblin Valley State Park. There are beautiful places in Utah, and then there's Goblin Valley, which is something else entirely. Located near Hanksville in central Utah, this park looks less like Earth and more like a science fiction film set. The 1999 film Galaxy Quest was actually shot here because the landscape needed zero modifications to pass as an alien planet. That should tell you everything. The park gets its name from thousands of mushroom-shaped sandstone formations called hoodoos, referred to locally as goblins. Unlike most parks where you stay on designated trails, Goblin Valley encourages visitors to wander freely among the formations. That alone makes it feel different from almost anywhere else in the state. The park offers yurt camping that books out fast, so reservations well in advance are strongly recommended. Day use fees run around $20 per vehicle. It sits within easy driving distance of Moab, making it a natural addition to a larger southern Utah loop. Go expecting Mars, leave wondering why it took you this long to show up. Number 7. Dead Horse Point. What if you could get views just as dramatic as Canyonlands National Park without the entrance fee in under an hour from Moab? Dead Horse Point State Park answers that pretty convincingly. The overlook sits roughly 2,000 feet above the Colorado River, and the view from the edge stops conversation mid-sentence. The name comes from a grim piece of local legend. Cowboys once used the narrow mesa as a natural corral for wild horses, fencing off the only way out. The story doesn't end well for the horses, but the point itself is spectacular, with layer upon layer of Red Canyon dropping to a horseshoe bend in the Colorado River, and on clear days, the snow-capped Rocky Mountains are visible in the distance. Day use fees run around $20 per vehicle. Trails range from easy rim walks to longer hikes, and sunrise or sunset here is an obvious power move. The midday light on those canyon walls is genuinely underrated though. Pack a lunch, find a spot on the rim, and sit with it for a while. Number 6. Bonneville Falls. Not every great hike in Utah comes with a massive parking lot and a ranger station. Some of the best ones are quietly tucked away in small towns, and Bonneville Falls is exactly that kind of find. The trailhead sits just outside the tiny town of Bonneville in southwestern Utah, taking you through a narrow slot canyon past rushing rapids and eventually delivering you to 2 genuinely stunning waterfalls. The trail involves wading through water, so waterproof footwear is non-negotiable. In summer, that's part of the appeal, keeping things cool while the slot canyon walls close in around you. Winter is a different story. The same trail becomes treacherous with ice and snow, and that season is best skipped unless you're chasing frozen waterfall photographs. Canaryville Falls is the town's actual drinking water source, so pack out everything you bring in and treat the place with real respect. Permits are required through the town of Canaryville for around $5 per person. Now here's a question for the comments. If you had one full day in southern Utah, would you spend it on a hike like this or plant it at a scenic overlook? Drop your answer below, I'm genuinely curious. Number 5, Sand Hollow State Park. Sometimes what you want after a morning of hiking slot canyons is to sit somewhere beautiful and not move. Sand Hollow understands that completely. Located just outside St. George, this reservoir looks like it was lifted from a Caribbean postcard and dropped into a red rock desert. The water runs a translucent aqua blue against cliffs of deep red sandstone. The combination shouldn't work as well as it does. The reservoir covers roughly 1,300 acres within a larger state park that includes dunes and off-highway vehicle trails. Kayaking, paddleboarding, wakeboarding, and fishing are all popular, with rentals available nearby for anyone traveling light. Outside of peak summer weekends, it rarely feels overcrowded. Day use fees run around $15 per vehicle. St. George makes a natural base for this entire corner of Utah, and Sand Hollow pairs easily with several other stops on this list. If you're ready to see these views in person, I've linked the best current flight and hotel deals in the description below to help you book for less. Number 4, Snow Canyon State Park. There's a reason locals from St. George treat Snow Canyon like their personal backyard. Located just 11 miles northwest of the city, this state park delivers scenery that would headline any national park brochure, and most out-of-state visitors drive right past it on their way to Zion. That's a mistake worth correcting. Snow Canyon spans roughly 7,400 acres of red and white Navajo sandstone, ancient lava flows, and dunes shifting quietly between canyon walls. The volcanic cinder cones inside the park are a genuine surprise, remnants of eruptions that shaped the region thousands of years ago. That contrast between black lava rock and pale sandstone creates a landscape that feels almost layered. Hiking options range from short family-friendly walks to more challenging canyon routes, and the park's elevation keeps temperatures more manageable during peak summer. Day use fees run around $10 per vehicle. If Zion is booked solid or too crowded, Snow Canyon is not a consolation prize. It holds its own against anything else in southern Utah. Number 3, Monument Valley. Few landscapes carry the visual weight that Monument Valley does. Located along the Arizona and Utah border within the Navajo Nation, this is one of those places that feels simultaneously familiar and completely overwhelming in person. You've seen those towering sandstone mittens in films and photography for decades. Standing in front of them still somehow exceeds expectations. The valley sits entirely within Navajo tribal land, and that context matters. It's a living cultural landscape with deep significance to the Navajo people, and visiting with that awareness makes the experience richer. Guided tours led by Navajo guides are available and strongly worth considering. The 17-mile drive is accessible for around $8 per person, and the views from the main overlook alone justify the stop. Hiking and horseback riding tours through Navajo-owned operators are available for anyone wanting to go deeper. This is also home to arguably the most famous stretch of road in America, made iconic by the film Forrest Gump. Some places earn their reputation completely. This is one of them. Number 2, Moab. If Utah had a headquarters for outdoor adventure, Moab would be it. Sitting between Arches and Canyonlands National Parks in southeastern Utah, this small city of roughly 5,000 people punches so far above its weight that it almost feels unfair to everywhere else. It's not just a town you pass through, it's a base camp, and a genuinely excellent one. The obvious draws are the 2 national parks on its doorstep, but Moab's own activity list runs deep. The Slick Rock mountain biking trails are considered among the best in the world. Whitewater rafting on the Colorado River ranges from mellow floats to genuinely challenging rapids. Rock climbing, canyoneering, and base jumping round out the options for anyone needing more. Peak season runs in spring and fall, and those windows fill up fast. Booking accommodation 3 to 6 months ahead is genuinely necessary, not just cautious advice. Moab rewards the traveler who plans and has very little patience for the one who shows up hoping for the best. Number 1, Antelope Island State Park. Here's the one that genuinely surprises people, not because it's hidden, but because nothing about the name prepares you for what it actually offers. Antelope Island sits in the southeastern part of the Great Salt Lake, connected to the mainland by a causeway, and it is home to one of the largest free-roaming bison herds in the entire country. Not a zoo, not a sanctuary, just bison, moving living through open landscape the way they have for centuries. The island covers roughly 28,000 acres and supports wildlife well beyond bison, mule deer, bighorn sheep, pronghorn antelope, and a remarkable variety of shorebirds all share the space, making it one of the more legitimate wildlife watching destinations in the American West. Day use fees run around $15 per vehicle. The island hosts an annual bison roundup each fall, and hiking and cycling trails offer views across the Great Salt Lake unlike anything else on this list. Sunrise and sunset here create atmospheric conditions that feel almost unreal. Utah has no shortage of dramatic landscapes, but Antelope Island offers something the rest of the state rarely can: a true sense of escape within an hour of a major city. Utah has a way of making you feel like you've only just started, no matter how much of it you've seen. Start anywhere on this list, and the hardest part won't be finding something worth experiencing. It'll be decided when to stop. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love this next one.